Today I'm taking the desk from this to that, which isn't that different, but I wanted to show you the process. So this table was super large in a darker wood, and I wanted to brighten it up a bit. I knew I wanted to have an option for storage, so I just simply measured where I wanted to put a shelf, and then I actually just measured out some 2x4s, cut them down to size, and then I put those cut pieces up along where I wanted to create a shelf to make sure I had enough to cover the area. I really did love this steel with that wood color, but I decided to just change it up and spray paint it my go-to flat Rust-Oleum white. While those were drying, I went ahead and I laid out all my wood for one shelf. I sanded it down to make sure there was no areas that I could be nicked with, and then once I got those sanded down, I flipped those wood pieces over to work with the back of the wood because I liked it looking a specific way on the top of the shelf. Since this wood is pretty light and thin, I just used some paint stirrers as a support, which I just cut down to size with my table saw. And then I put 2 weights on each side of the shelf so it couldn't wiggle around when I went to glue it. And then I went ahead and wood glued those stirrers onto the back of that shelf and then extra secured it by nailing a single nail through that stirrer into each piece of wood, if that made sense. And now I have the option to either have a shelf for storage or I can choose not to. Before I spray painted both, I made sure to paint one white just to see if I liked it instead of wasting my time, and I ended up loving it white, so I went ahead and spray painted the other leg, and now we're going to actually build the desk portion. I am no pro, but I actually used a ruler, a hammer, some wood screws, nails, wood glue, a wireless drill, a wireless sander, 2 smaller pieces of wood, and a larger piece of pine plywood. So my plywood piece was actually a perfect pre-cut size at Home Depot, and then I went and took my 2 legs that I had spray painted and centered them onto the board, or I put them onto the board where I wanted them to go. I forgot that I like this side as the top of my table, so I flipped my wood. So make sure whatever side you want to be showing is on the bottom while you're working with this. I then took my ruler and I made sure that the spacing on every single side was equal, and this is also going to vary upon the size of the wood that you choose to be your desktop. Once I got that situated, I traced that along the wood so I knew where to put the support beams, or I don't know if that's the proper word for them. I filled that space with glue and then placed my wood on top of it, added some weight and some wood clamps to ensure that it was glued down. Once that was dry, I took some nails and just nailed that beam directly into the bottom of that desk. I put the leg on top of it and then drilled directly into where the holes are along that leg because that's what they're there for. Because I am barely keeping anything on top of my desk, I don't need extra support in the middle of it since everything is extremely lightweight. I repeated that same thing to the next leg and then flipped the desk over, and it was done, and I am totally in love. As you will learn with my decorating style, I like things that I can change easily. So this whole little shelf dealio that I showed you in the beginning, obviously you do not have to do, but it's just cool to have the option to have room for storage. But I'm not sure if I like it with or without them yet. I got my wood to match the pegboard that I made and that I am also teaching you on Wednesday, so don't trip out too hard. And like I just said, I love things that I can change easily, and this space was extremely blank, so I added some wooden dowels I cut out in DIY decor that I've shown you on this channel before. There should be a card popping around for you, and it really just made the space come together a little bit more. I didn't want to rush to decorate the top of my desk for this video because I don't work like that, so you'll see that there's one shelf in one shot and then 2 shelves in another. It's because I'm trying to decide what I like, but I will give you a DIY desk tour organization kind of dealio once I figure it out. I hope that you guys enjoyed this DIY desk upcycle. Don't forget to follow me on my socials because I show you behind the scenes of the project while I'm working on it. See you next time, guys.